good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Anshuman is a unique name. What is the meaning of your name?
This is Hindi word, probably a Sanskrit word, which means or stands for sun. So probably I am there just to give sunlight to everyone.
Got it. I have seen your videos, couple of videos. Afterwards, I got your mail ID and
hmm
requested you for my conversation. And thank you for the participation. Thank you for being here. Value your time. And without wasting time, I would like to jump into our conversation. And before that, do you have anything to know? Do you want me to introduce about myself?
Not that way. I would like to just listen a brief introduction that how do you define yourself? Because I have seen your videos since I got encountered your channel. How do you see yourself? Just if you can quickly tell me about that, we are good to go with. Yeah.
Okay, is as you see, my name is Mahalashmi. I hail from Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore. I reside at Coimbatore now. I'm a mom to two beautiful daughters. I was working before as a banker, as a lecturer. Now I'm a full-time homemaker, shouldering my responsibility. Along with that, I have a channel. I have been posting content for my channel, and I have been doing conversation with other YouTubers, learners, and English
hmm
Yari tutors. This is what I'm doing right now, and I'm concentrating on my English speaking skills along with
Lovely.
communication. Is
Perfect. Nice to know that. You do have already given a wonderful introduction. Seems like you were preparing for a full job. I have seen this kind of fabulous introduction for an interview who is just going to be prepared for a job. So I believe a lot of learner can learn a lot of things. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
See, this has been my habit. I have narrated my introduction so many times, so it has come as a flow.
I understand that. Same for me
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
My question is, they know how to speak English. When it comes to communication, they fumble. They don't know how to proceed further. They always tend to stand as a beginner, even though they are very good in English, even though we consider them as an intermediate speaker, but they are not allowing themselves to move forward. They lag in that part. So, what aspects must be taken in order to move forward from English
Got
speaker
it.
to a communication skills to
Lovely.
a is communication speaker?
Got it. Now the point comes. Even this is the question what I often ask me a lot of time because I have started my own journey to become a fluent speaker. And I was very clear from day one, Anshuman have to be very good at English spoken skills. Because something has happened in my college days of my first day of college that I got embarrassed because I could not able to introduce myself. And that time I thought, okay, let's work on that. And after spending 1.5 years, I can see people complimenting that with that I'm very good at spoken English.
Mm,
But the same question arises in mind. And Shuman, do you really wanted to be an eloquent speaker itself, or you wanted to actually be a good communicator?
mm,
Then I find one certain difference in being an eloquent speaker, being a communicator is very minute thing. And once I understood that, it actually gave me a sense now I can connect people very fast. I can understand their values. I can empathize and probably have a very good friendship. I have also, just growing in my ladder in professional terms. So coming back to your question, what it takes or what did I change in myself? I'll just tell my experience. The number first thing I did change in me is mindset. Mindset. And what
mindset.
I'm saying, mindset, yes,
Mm,
it is very underrated. People just say that mindset. I know that I do have a strong mindset, but no, you don't have. Firstly, acknowledging something is what people gonna start with. So
mm,
accept that if you're gonna to be communicate here, you are not have to impress anyone. You'll have to express it. Because
mm,
while I was just wanted to be better at eloquent or being at speaking, there I was just trying to impress, to be
correct.
honest, because I am just running behind good vocabulary. How do I sound more confident? How do I make other people feel that I'm a very good speaker? And
Mm,
prominently, I was able to do that. But once I just changed my mindset from being more presentable, from being more, interesting than being expressible. There I'm not
mm,
there anybody to impress. I just wanted to be very clear about what I'm saying so
mm,
that people can get me. So that is number one. And second, in communication, Mahalakshmi, 80% time we don't have to just speak. It is very contradictory what people find, and people might be finding it difficult to, because for me, like who has been practicing so much for speaking, it was very hard for me to just listen someone And communication, as I told, also follows 80-20% rule. 80% had time you'll have to understand, listen. And once I say listening, the majority of people say that I'm a good listener. I understand, I listen. But listening is also kind of two types. You listen just because you wanted to speak. That is number
Mm,
one. And second, you listen to comprehend and understand. Here, I just
mm.
pretty find you a very good listener because you ask a question, you gave me scope, and you're just acknowledging my answer. I was just lagging this. I
Okay.
had put my heart and soul to just learn this skill, listening. And because I learned how to listen better, I could understand the question better and I could be very at the point. So here my focus has been shifted. The
Mm.
mindset was first, and the listening skill was the second, which actually plays a very important role in my communication. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I would say that we have to first concentrate on our confidence. We are
Hmm.
already good at speaking. The only part it, as you said, we have to give importance to our body gesture when it comes to
Hmm.
communication. It's nothing but
Correct.
you're putting your content across the people. You are not only saying your thought, you should be able to make others to understand what you're saying, what you're putting out. That is the main thing that will come to you when you listen to them.
True.
Correct.
True. And
Okay.
you really highlighted one thing, Mahalakshmi. I would just like to double down on that point quickly. Because if you are very clear about either you wanted to be a great speaker or you wanted to be a great communicator, both will be requiring a different skill set, right?
Mm,
For speaking, you probably have to jot down good words, maybe a good vocabulary will help you to just achieve that, and good speaking skills, what you need to do for speaking. But communication, as you mentioned, something body language is one of the most important. Even one of the data and study shows that your non-verbal communication, your body gesture, your hand gesture, posture, eye movement, smiling face does a lot of importance in your communication. Because what if I was just telling you like this? Yes, Mahalakshmi, tell me that how do. Probably we won't be that interactive, correct, isn't it?
correct,
So
correct,
the point, if you are being very clear about communication, play very huge role on your body language. Be very specific about how you use your tonality, how you use your hand gesture, posture, eye movement. Smiling face is also very important, what people like these days. Yes.
correct, correct. And also, it is not an easy task to distinguish between a speaker and a communicator. First, I don't know how can I analyze that I want to be a speaker or communicator. How can I do that? So everyone learns English just to speak,
Correct.
just to have a communication. But here comes
True.
the difference: the speaker and the communicator. So we have to
Correct.
give the importance. Why do we want to change the shift? Could you please bear? Is how can we differentiate that whether I want to be a speaker or a communicator?
Correct. Got it. So there is two questions I would say that you were highlighting. The first one, how would I know that what I wanted to be good at? Probably that was your recent question. And
Yes.
earlier you mentioned something. How do even I know that other person is good communicator or the speaker? So I'll start with the this one only. I
Okay.
do assess people or just people by this two simple thing. If someone has talked to me and if they again wanted to get back and talk to me, so probably I have just, fulfilled this way. Because if you were just being talking about yourself or, somehow you were just eloquent speaker, so other person would definitely say, yes, yes, okay, we'll talk later, but they would never come back again and wanted to talk you, right? Isn't it?
Correct.
So this is very good way to analyze whether the person we are talking would be
Mm,
interested to talk you again or not. So that's
okay.
the answer of your question. And second, now how do I know that whether I just wanted to be better at speaking or communication? Again, it is very subjective, differs. If you
Okay.
want a very good personal life, you wanted to have very good friends around you, or you just wanted to grow at your communicational ladder or maybe professional ladder, you wanted to be good at your promotions, blah blah blah. So there the communication comes. Doesn't matter how good you speak if you cannot actually be very clear about what you is asking, if you cannot being very emotional when it is needed, probably you would be a good speaker. People will just clap once you give a presentation, but they would never give you that respect and you would never have a good friends around you. So it's very subjective. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, superb, superb. Okay. Once learners become comfortable with everyday conversations, what
Hmm.
should they work on next to communicate more effectively?
Again, very good question. This is what I have been gone through with, and I'll tell very honestly that how did I transition from being eloquent speaker to being memorable speaker? There is another
Okay.
stage.
Okay.
Okay, because it's not about you say, it's what people will remember. So if
Mm,
you speak so much, I have seen people talking for hours and hours, and even after going back to home, I do used to think what this person talked about, but I appreciated them with my friend. Hey, he was using very good vocabulary, blah blah blah, but I didn't get that what he wants. So the key message is what I
okay.
believe is very important. So
Okay.
just this transition could be happened if you can just tell your thing with a story, because people do
Mm,
remember the stories. Believe, tell me that if you might have seen a lot of movies, you would be knowing or just understanding, remembering the movie because of that story, because that is going in a such a way, right? So the
mm,
storytelling is what people should be emphasizing or thinking about if they are pretty
okay.
much comfortable about this language. Second, their voice tonality. Do you think,
Mm.
Mahalakshmi, if I can just talk in a very monotonous tone, yes, tell me how do I do that? It was good. Our, our human mind work like that. It would be very bored if someone is going in the same direction. So it should be like this. You should be knowing when to just go a little bit high, when to go down, when to take pause, when to. So those are a little bit extra thing you can do once you are being very comfortable about thing. It will obviously will help you to connect better, so that you can again just go through with the journey from good speaker to memorable speaker. Yeah,
It's modulation.
true.
Okay. So people often focus on vocabulary and grammar. However, how important are body language, tone, and intonation in becoming a confident communicator? We always, as you said earlier, we always focus on he. Wow, he has used vocabulary, idioms in his speech. We
Good.
can subscribe so that we can learn so many vocabulary, idioms from his
Yeah,
speech. But when it comes to body language, we often omit that. They are not giving importance to that. We don't know how to communicate with others with the proper body language. So, how
correct.
can we use our body parts when it comes to communicating?
Got it. You're lagging something. This is the stage number one. If you
Mm,
cannot measure, you cannot improve. Now you know that you do
okay.
lag this. Then consciously do the practice. Initially for 5th, 10th, 15, 20, 50th time you'll struggle. But believe me, if you would consciously practice using your hand, gesture, posture, you would even use those hand gesture posture while talking on a phone. So today I talked to my mom once I expressed something. Even she's not in front of me, but I used to express with my hand gesture posture. Even
Yes.
my facial expression goes like that because now it has been a part, it has been
Mm,
inculcated in me, right? So
correct.
nobody can associate that.
Mm.
So the first, being aware is a good. Take the action, do it multiple repetition, repeatedly with anxious effort, you can get it. As
Get
simple
it.
as that.
And also, it is very important to use our body gesture based on the circumstances, based
Obvious.
on whom we are talking, based on the stages and everything. For
True.
interview, we cannot use all their gestures like giving a
Correct.
speech. So we have to
True.
maintain that throughout our life.
Right, right. The
Okay.
circumstances is very important. Correct.
Very important. As learners move from the intermediate to the advanced level, what habits should they gradually develop to sound more natural and engaging?
There are two things I would definitely emphasize on. Probably I have talked about the first one, which is storytelling.
Okay.
And second, which is again very important, is just being respective in terms of others.
Mm,
What do I mean by that? Because here, if we just wanted to be at great at communication, there, even one of the book I have read 6 months back for third time. I hope that you might have heard about the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. There,
okay.
a lot of good leaders like Mr. Obama, Nelson Mandela, and others have same come up with the same conclusion that if you can talk in terms of others, you can connect better,
Okay.
right? So with the storytelling, if you can deliver the things more naturally, more engaging manner in terms of what other people is expecting, you would be a
Mm,
wonderful speaker as well as you would be very good at your communication, because now you know that what people is expecting, you just deliver those things in a very good story, so that now
mm,
they do remember the
mm,
essence, and they can probably tell, hey, Anshuman, I talked to Anshuman today, I got this, and they
mm.
would never say Anshuman was a very great speaker, but I didn't learn anything out of that.
Mm.
So two things, yeah.
So we should understand the pulse of the audience and we have to
Exactly,
deliver.
very important.
Yes, got it. So ultimately, this is my last question, and it comes to this communication related question.
Hmm.
What separates someone who simply speaks English from someone who communicates with confidence and leaves a lasting impression?
Hmm. Very good question. So the point I mentioned, I'll just try to connect this dot from there itself. If someone would just speak English as usually we tends to do, probably you will be a very good speaker, eloquent speaker. But once you started connecting it with confidence, with a storytelling, with your body language, gesture, posture, and you shift your focus from yourself to your audience, now you would be just gauging or just traveling this journey from eloquent speaker to memorable speaker. People would remember you. Why did I? And they would be very careful, and they would be always emphasize. They would always wanted to listen you back because you
Okay.
make them feel better. You make them
Mm,
feel a little change in their life. And believe me, Mahalakshmi, once I'm telling that this is very hard to change even a 1% in any other thing, because we might have grown in different circumstances. We have lived our life totally differently. If one single thought could be changed in any of the person just because of me, just because of you, you have already got the fulfillment of your communication. So that should be the goal too. Yeah.
okay. Thank you so much for answering. Now comes the rapid fire questions. Uh,
Yeah.
for
Let's
a
go.
beginner, what is more important, reading or speaking? For a beginner,
Speaking.
speaking.
Speaking, I would say yes. I mean, with the basic grammar, if you have basic grammar, just jump to the speaking. Whatever you do have, go and speak.
Okay. Grammar or fluency? For a beginner, I have four questions for especially
Okay.
beginners.
Okay. Okay. I
Grammar
mean,
or
for
fluency?
got it. So for beginner, I would recommend don't chase fluency for now. Chase a little bit of grammar and be better
Yes.
at that. And then, yeah.
Oh, okay. Accuracy or confidence?
I believe confidence could become with accuracy too. So both
Yes.
are interlinked.
I was thinking the same answer when I was
Oh my
writing
God.
this.
We both are on same board then.
Yes,
Yeah.
on the same page.
Okay.
Listening or speaking again?
Listening. I would definitely rate a listening here. For since you told me for
Beginners.
beginner,
Yes,
yeah. So probably my answer would be a little different. So here your main motive should be speaking,
speaking.
because you want to do better at speaking. Speak
Okay.
far. Speak most. Yeah.
Oh, this is now it's for English learners. So,
Mhm.
what would you recommend them? Books or podcasts?
Both
I
do
know
have
it
their
is subjective,
pretty.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yes. I would
as
definitely tell my
yes,
own experience,
yes.
Mahalakshmi.
Mm,
Probably I believe that would be a justice with this question too, because I don't want
yes.
to give, unsolicited advice what I haven't followed.
Mm,
So what worked in my case, I was a vivid reader from
okay.
last 4 years.
Mm.
Though I was not intentional one, because you would be surprised to know that till my 12th, I haven't read any of my academics books even. So I wasn't that good because the knowledge was very shortcut for me. If I need something to learn, I'll probably ask one of my friend, hey, tell me that, how do I do that? Tell me, how do I solve that?
Mm,
Or probably I would just go on YouTube, somebody, they're explaining everything in simple manner. I just watch that and gain the knowledge. So reading was one of the hardest hurdle for me until I realized that everyone can be a good reader because they haven't got a good book. So now I just started seeking around my own interest and finding out a good book, and that turns out very well. Now in last 3 4 years, I have read more than 50 plus books, which comes from my own interest: technology, psychology, a little bit of communicational aspect, business values. All those things have given me a huge knowledge, because
mm,
there I am getting the 60, 50, or maybe 70 years of experience of the author in 300 pages, right? So
true,
that is
true.
number one. So probably if someone can start or inculcate this reading habit, it would be cherry on top. However, if you are just like me, initially, I believe nobody would want to read a book. That's okay. You can probably start with the podcast. There are two people conversating on a very easy terms. You can get the knowledge. You can actually understand from their both experience. And since you're engaging your ears too, you'd be habitual to not only understand the word good thing, but you can actually know the how to use that word. Where do I
Words.
use that?
Mm,
What is the emphasis I'll have to make? So there is
correct.
pros and cons involved. Yeah. Yeah.
I think when you were saying about yourself, I was actually viewing my part. I was visualizing. I was also
Oh,
on the
is it?
same page up to 12th. I was not into studies. I was not a studious student. I used to read a lot. That
Okay.
only differs. I used to read a lot storybooks, comics, or historical books,
Okay.
classic books, other than academic books. Recently, after starting my channel, I have tried my hands at reading English books, especially. Meanwhile, I have also tried some Tamil books, but I'm focusing on English books for my
Okay.
speaking, for my communication, and really the reading habit is my favorite thing. I can read the whole year without asking for any other hobby. I don't want to do anything other than reading.
Lovely. So what did you
Okay.
get, if you'll have to tell, since you told that you haven't been into reading, let me know your own learning. If you'll have to just highlight two or three major learning from reading a book, it would be helpful for the learner watching this as well.
The books that I have been
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
what people can get after reading any book,
okay,
why they
yes,
should read it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
See, it is already a proven strategy. You no need to worry about sentence formation, about grammar, vocabulary, and they use everything in a proper way. They don't
Mm-hmm.
dump in between just for the sake of it. They use appropriate proper words, so you no need to worry about anything. You can just follow the words when it comes to English. At the
Mm-hmm.
same time, you are able to broaden your horizon. When you are listening
Correct.
to a podcast or conversation, you'll be able to understand only the part about that conversation. At the same time, when you are reading a book, you'll come to know several aspects without knowing
Correct.
that you are learning something. And you can choose your genre, like self-help books, fiction, non-fiction, stories, thrillers, crimes, and there are plenty of things available. And you can even narrate that to your family members, to your kids, children, so that I think no better way of learning something other than teaching, other than saying to someone. So when you do this, automatically you will gain some more confidence. And when you say to someone that I have a reading habit, I have read this couple of books, you will create an image with others. Actually, I'm not reading it for creating an image. It's my hobby, it's my passion.
I understand it. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that image will create automatically without knowing, right?
True. True.
It is an
Amazing.
additional
Correct.
qualification. It adds cherry on top of the cake. Correct.
Right, right. I do agree with that.
Yes.
Perfect. It was really, shocking to know since you mentioned that now earlier you were being into teaching. So someone who don't wanted to just indulge themselves into reading now become a professor. So I would like to know a little bit of journey too.
No, I was a lecturer, the assistant professor for 4 years. That time I was teaching. I
Mm-hmm.
was reading other books other than my academic books. See, when it comes to teaching, I had to go through everything. I was reading all my academic books. Other than
Mm-hmm.
that, I gave my full interest for reading some classic books, historical books in Tamil. So I have completed
Okay.
some historical books. It has so many parts, like 5 parts. It's like a small pillow, and the books are like small pillow. I have inculcated this habit from my aunt. She always
Okay.
asked me to read, insisted me to read always. And I, neither of my parents, neither my mom nor my dad has this habit. I sometimes wonder, where did I get this from? And is finally I got the answer. It is from my aunt.
Lovely. Lovely.
Yes. My daughters are not giving importance for that. It's okay.
They will learn with the time. Correct. Correct.
Is okay. Practice or perfection? What do they
Practice.
practice? We should not go
Practice,
for.
practice, and practice.
Okay. Feedback or
Yes.
self evaluation?
Both are important. I believe self-evaluation would be the part of feedback.
Yes.
So, firstly, if you have someone whom you can seek feedback, maybe your closed ones, and be very anxious about while taking feedback. You can go random people or maybe anyone just asking for feedback.
Okay.
There you would ruin your own motivation. Some of the time I have did the same mistake earlier where I started.
Yes.
I just went anyone in the call and just asking, hey, tell me that where I was wrong. Though people would tell you their perception about you, it may or may not be true. So
Yes.
you'll have to again self-evaluate. is the
Correct.
person telling is what I'm missing? If yes, then yeah. Sorry, it was just an rapid fire question. I just gave a long
It's
answer.
okay. Actually, you answered it went wonderful. Even the same happened with me. I have been having conversation with English Yari tutors. While speaking,
Hmm.
when they have started writing something, I feel nervous. I stumble a lot. I
Correct.
fumble a lot. I would think that, see, what are they writing?
She's
Am I making mistakes? So my
correct.
concentration shifts to that part. I just stop in between. Yeah, you pointed out correctly.
Right, right.
Got it. Spontaneity or preparation?
Both are subjective. If you could
Okay.
elaborate the question, in which context did you ask?
Okay. See, the same for English learners, they should prepare themselves for spontaneity, or from they should give some time for preparation. They should take some time for preparation.
Right. It's again like if you are aware that you're gonna ask, you could be asked some questions, so it's better to be always prepared because we
Okay.
have seen a lot of good, memorable speaker. They never come bare hand. They have done
Okay.
huge practice for years and years. So the
Okay.
preparation is number one, but be
Okay.
ready for any kind of random topic. So that's where the
Correct.
structure comes in the picture. That's altogether
Okay.
different game. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Movies or books for improving English?
I haven't used movies, to just improve my English. I just watch them just for fun. So that's been
Okay.
in my regional language. So I just go
Okay.
with the books only. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So are you an introvert or extrovert?
Hmm. Now, if I'll just call this introvert, people would feel, a little discomfort. Having said that, I'm facing a lot of people, so I just consider myself a kind of ambivert. I don't
Ambivert.
hesitate to talk to the people. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
hesitate to talk to the people. Yeah.
Okay. And introvert or extrovert, which has an advantage in communication?
Oh, that's a very thoughtful question. I'll have to be both have their pros and cons, to be honest,
Cons.
Mahalakshmi, because
Mm.
yeah, because being an introvert earlier, I was being very good observer and I've seen it's my personal observation. I might be wrong as well because I do have the sample space of maybe 100 people I have just observed and I have just find this common pattern that if someone is speaking less or just not being engaged, doesn't matter he or she is not listening.
Mm.
Probably they are just observing the things and not just wanted to just highlight it or they just don't want it to get indulged. So in
Correct.
communication, if you are an introvert, you do have an edge because
Mm.
you are listening for
You have so.
understanding them. So
Mm.
if you can also now just use this superpower to communicate, to just tell what you're thinking and how do you can, just bridge this gap, boss, you're sorted. So I believe the introvertism is one of the superpower what people do have, but if they can use it efficiently. An
Efficient. Yeah.
extrovert again comes with pros and cons. If you just open up again, maybe much, and you're not knowing other individuals, which happens a lot with people without knowing them much, they share everything, and lately they feel, oh my God, now I have told every secret
Yes.
just in the first conversation.
Yes.
Be very
Correct.
aware. Yeah.
And extrovert, I think most probably they don't know where to talk, how to talk, and they just spill everything in front of everyone. Afterwards, they worry about it. They should know how to walk on the eggshells sometimes, but it is not
Correct.
happening. Is that's all? I have asked all my questions. Do you have any questions for me? And I would like to know what book you are reading currently. What books would you suggest for the English learners?
Okay. For English specific, I would say just go for basic books.
Mm,
For if you just wanted to know how to, it depends on which particular label you are. If you're aware that I'm just here where I know that how to frame a little sentence, or maybe I could speak on a kind of paragraph. So you should start from very basic books. Find out your own interest first.
mm,
Don't just
mm.
take any of the recommendation from any of the people that would you
Okay.
would again say that I'm not a book reader. Books are not good. So it doesn't mean that books are not good. It just means you haven't find your own interest.
Own interest,
So pick
correct.
any book. Having said that, they should have very basic language itself. Probably you can use any of the fifth, sixth story books as well if you're just interested to read about
Mm,
stories, books. And second, if you're majorly focused on communicational books, so there is a couple of books what I personally have read and would also recommend to the learner to go. The first one I have read is How to Win Friends and Influence People, which
mm,
is one of my favorite book. I have learned a lot from there. And this 80%, 80-20 rules comes from
mm,
the listening
mm,
rules.
mm,
Whatever quotes did I quote, it's not my
mm,
own. I have learned it from either from the people
mm.
by the conversation like this, or maybe I have read some book like that.
Books is
And very important. And right these days I'm reading a book called that's a very specific book on communicational thing, and one of the great book. I'll just check out the name so that I do. Talk Like Ted by Karimin Helwa. So it is one
Okay.
of the best book I just searched on.
Mm. Help book. I don't know why, because already the YouTube is flooded with the motivation, self motivation, self help, and everything. So I'm into story, narration, some thriller books, crime books, and some normal story about the historical, about the classical. So I'm into it, and I have just read Agatha Christie book, and there were none.
Augusta.
Agatha
Okay.
Christie,
Okay.
and it was indeed a thriller book. It was fantastic. Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and last night I completed. I have Splendid Suns now. I may read it from on Friday. On Friday, I may start it. That's all.
Oh, very soon you have quickly completed it. Seems like you were pretty indulged into this book.
Yes, I was not when I started reading that book, and there were none. It was somewhat difficult, but after flipping through some pages, I thought it was not as difficulty as I thought it would be. It was quite good, and
Mhm.
I was able to flip through so many pages, and I completed it successfully last night. It gave me a great pleasure because she's a foreign author, and I felt very difficulty during initial pages, right? And I have read one of her books previously. It was also indeed a tough one. It was really hard nut to crack, and it is quite good.
Lovely. I believe the learner who are watching this video, they have already got a lot of things, the book reading, communication, spoken English. I would appreciate your thoughtful question because that's
Okay.
also one of the qualities of great communicator. They would, because in almost all the podcasts, I used to ask a lot of questions and you made me talk a lot. So we have already done a great job and
Yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. It was
Okay.
my pleasure to be here and just talk and exchange of
Okay.
thoughts. So ideally, I would like to also invite you for my podcast where we'd sit and discuss any particular topic as
Yes.
per the audience need.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course, of course. I'd be great to be on your channel as well. So we'll connect again for your channel. Thank you so much for your
sure.
precious time. I really thoroughly enjoyed all your points, insights, values, and learners may apply in their life as well to get the highest value out of it. Thank you so much for connecting. We'll meet again soon for your channel.